Welcome to Coober Pedy. We wanted to visit Coober Pedy because we were so intrigued by the idea of people living underground. Like the sheer fact that right now there are people in Australia living underground was just something we could not fathom, and we had to see it for ourselves.
These are actually people's houses underground, and you can only tell because of the ventilation stacks and the television aerials.
So this morning we've woken up bright and early to try and beat the heat. And so we can explore a little bit of the town whilst everything's kind of closed and just get a layout of the land. We're at the Big Winch, which is, I think, the highest point that you can see over the town, just to see how the houses are laid out, how many are actually underground, and just to get a vibe of the place. It's really interesting the way that everything is laid out. You can see houses that are like etched, like a little bit out, but like etched into the ground. So we visited the famous Orthodox Church. That's one of the places you have to visit if you go to Coober Pedy. It's an underground Orthodox church with all the carvings and everything. And that was really, really cool. It had some beautiful architecture and carving, and that was really nice to see as well. But also, you know, somewhere religious where people go to pray and worship. It's always really cool to see all the symbolism and signs and images and all that. So that was a cool experience. Highly recommend.
This one. Talk about unique architecture. The ridges on the wall that follow the ceiling are pretty amazing. No, that's it. This is quite a contrast from the church we had like 10 minutes ago. There's undies and stuff on the walls.
Wow. Another really weird experience that we went to was Crocodile Harry's house. I know there's a few of these types of houses that you can experience, but this one was probably the weirdest and wackiest one. It's literally like a dugout that just has all of this stuff everywhere, like signs, people have signed it, just memorabilia, pictures, like any weird thing you can imagine you'd probably find in there. And it was just so unique. I don't know a lot about the guy's life, but he's definitely someone to research and go and visit his house because it was just interesting. So we visited the Old Timers Mine, which is a museum/mine where opal miners actually were, and that was really cool because you got to kind of meander through the mine in the little crevices and everything to see what they were doing. And they even had little like models that were pretending to be the miners jotted all around. So that was really cool. It was kind of like a day in a miner's life kind of experience. And it also showed the homes and how the miners would sleep underground when they were mining. And that was really, really cool and interactive way to see the whole thing. So definitely recommend that one. So this mine was originally worked in 1918 using pick and shovel and hand windlass and cowhide buckets for hauling mullock to the surface. Note the footholds dug into the sides of the shaft for climbing up and down. The only lighting was candles. Let me read it for you. Great number of drives, tunnels lead out from this chamber, so a lot of the opal must have been found right here where you're standing right now.
You see?
Oh my gosh, you startled me. Bro, I'm like, is that a rat? What the hell? So we stayed at the Comfort Inn, which funnily enough was right next to the Old Timers Mine. And if you let the Old Timers Mine know that you're staying at the Comfort Inn, you get a bit of a discount. But the Comfort Inn was really cool. I have a feeling it's like an extension of the mine. It was done really well. The way they've done it up, it looks really nice. And it's just a really nice, clean, pretty way to just get into staying underground for a few nights.
I just thought I'd share this little room we stayed in at the Comfort Inn. It's an actual dugout experience, which is pretty cool because you can see bands of opal on the rock. Most of this is no value, and they actually discourage you to dig because some people start digging thinking that they'll collect anything of worth, but if it was of worth, this would have been a mine instead of a hotel.
Coober Pedy is not just mines and underground dugouts. It is these beautiful geological sites, absolutely amazing. 20 minutes from Coober Pedy, you come to this place. It's called Breakaways. Like my favorite palette of color. If I was a painter, I would be here ready to paint because this is just beyond belief.
If they were ever just fake landings on Mars, they'll probably stage it over here. I mean, look at this. It looks outside of this world. We are at the Dingle Fence, which is the world's longest fence. It runs, I think I remember them saying 5,600 kilometers. That's a very long fence just to keep dogs out. Okay, there's a whole bunch of dogs that were eating people's cattle and sheep. And in Australia, cattle and sheep are pretty big money, so you would see why they would justify such a large investment. Look how barren and lifeless it looks. And for those of you who might be wondering why they're exploring at this hour, it's because it's so hot out here. This is pretty much the only time you can come check places out during the summer. Or maybe I should do it with the sunset behind it.
It is so barren. It literally looks like someone's just like come and plucked everything out and they're about to replant, but it's just like naturally this way, which is so cool. This looks like Mars. This looks like another planet. Like if you look at the ground, it's like etched with different dry patterns. It's really cool. I'm not gonna lie, when I think of the Outback, this is what I think of. Like dirt, nothing growing, just barren. And to see it like this is like, yep, this is to me what the Outback looks like. It looks like Mars. It looks like another planet. Coming from Sydney, New South Wales, this is just completely different, but it's so cool. The ground, the texture of the ground, it looks like just, it's got like patterns to it. It's really cool. This is a really cool spot. I think it's called Moon something, this area. Okay, so I don't know what we expected when we arrived. We thought everyone was being held by chains or something and they really wanted to leave because who would want to live underground, right? But in speaking to the locals, we realized that these people really enjoyed this lifestyle and this was so normal to them. They were either, you know, second, third, fourth, fifth generation miners' children, and they absolutely loved this environment that they lived in. They loved opal. They loved everything that was so unique about this place. And they'd visit, you know, Adelaide and that sort of thing every now and then, but they would always choose to live the Coober Pedy life, and that was just really cool.